Employee Fiduciary is a firm that provides record keeping and administration services that many people haven't heard about, but it's definitely worth considering when evaluating 401k plan providers. They have a very low cost structure, similar to Guideline in terms of how low their costs actually are, and the fact that they post their fees right on their website, which are a flat fee of $1,500 a year plus an additional fee of $30 per participant for each additional participant above 30 participants. In addition to that, there's also a 0.08% asset charge. And while I don't like asset charges, I think this is very reasonable because many of their plans are in the range of under $1 million in assets. So if you do the calculation and you multiply 0.08% times $1 million, that still comes out to only $800 a year. So it's very insignificant. And they also charge either a $500 or $1,000 startup fee, depending on whether or not it's a startup plan or if it's a conversion from an existing plan. What I also like about Employee Fiduciary is that they allow advisors like myself to create their own models. Now, many plans or many providers do allow advisors to do that, but some don't. And I appreciate the fact that Employee Fiduciary allows advisors the flexibility to do so and has pretty much an unlimited array of funds that they offer through their custodian that they use, which is MG Trust Company. Where Employee Fiduciary is not a fit is for those who have a little bit more complex needs. And I mentioned this in other videos that sometimes a plan sponsor also desires to add an additional plan, a defined benefit plan specifically. An Employee Fiduciary simply doesn't offer that type of plan. They do offer the ability, like any other provider does, to do cross-testing, which is a means by which an employer can disproportionately allocate most of the contributions towards the more highly compensated employees. And that's an additional fee, I believe, of about $500 or so per year. Other issues with Employee Fiduciary, their customer service isn't bad. You will get assigned a dedicated account representative. It's not necessarily known to provide the very best service in the whole industry. I mean, they have thousands of plans, so they're not trying to be number one in terms of service. Their website is okay. There's no major issues with that. And typically participants, not that you don't want them using the website, but the reality is that it's not often that participants will go on the website consistently. But if they do, you still want to have a functional website, and their website is functional. So really, if you're a smaller plan, as I've said before, kind of a no-frills plan, this is similar to the type of clientele that Guideline has, Employee Fiduciary is absolutely worth considering. The main difference between Employee Fiduciary and Guideline is I don't think Employee Fiduciary's technology is quite as good. Employee Fiduciary does not act in an investment or an investment or administration fiduciary capacity as Guideline does. So you're not going to have Employee Fiduciary signing your 5500 form. You're not going to have Employee Fiduciary take any sort of fiduciary responsibility on either the investment or the administration side. But that's actually fairly common for a lot of providers. Again, this is not the best fit for every client, but this is absolutely worth considering, especially because, again, they're a flat fee, and so many of these larger providers are extremely expensive as the assets grow because they charge not based on the number of employees, but based on the number or the amount of assets in the plan.